Good evening and welcome to ClausenWorld. In this episode, I'm going to be doing some rearranging. It's that time of the year where our gardens are transitioning from our spring gardens to our summer gardens. And we have lots of plants that are overgrown and growing tall and producing. And in my garden, it's no different. I have pots that I now can't reach because they're all the way in the back. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of rearranging, and I probably would do a little bit of seed sowing as well. So join me in the garden and see what I get up to today. He's just hanging out right there on the fallen branch. I walked right past him. I know you guys probably can't see him too well, but he's just chilling. He's hanging out, surveying the street. Wow. Nature. You probably just heard a bird fly above my head. So before they either attack or poop on me, let me get my mail and be gone. He's just hanging out. I'm literally standing right next to a tree, and he's just hanging out. Not moving, not caring that I'm standing here, just sitting on a branch, on a fallen tree, fallen limb, big tree limb fell, and he's just hanging out. Nature. Wow. Snails. Ugh. Put my plants on top of wooden pallets because I thought that it would be best that they not absorb the heat from the ground. And it looks like a couple of the wooden planks that I added has allowed for snails to find a home. So we're gonna get rid of that. Alright, now what I'm trying to do is move my really big onion pot out of the way. And I think that this particular palette may have to go because the center is starting to get a little spongy on one side. And as I was stepping on it, I could feel one side is softer than the other. So I'm gonna have to forego this being on a palette. And I'm gonna have to get rid of this palette and take it to the trash. It is deteriorated to the point to where it's gotten spongy. And that's no good. So it is going to leave the garden. So I'm going to pull this out here. And because the wind is so awful, of course I have cleanup. I have a ton of leaves that I have to clean up. So let me get that out the way. And I'll show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. Instead of spending half of my time rearranging my plant enclosure, moving things around, I'm finding a lot of slugs up under the wood pallets that I have, raising everything up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this product that I bought months and months ago. I've never used this before, but I heard it was a really decent product. So I'm going to spread this down on top of where the wood is and stop worrying about collecting slugs and chucking them over the fence, because that takes time, and I'm just trying to get everything rearranged and moved into a permanent position so that I don't have to do this anymore this season or the next. So Bonide Bug Slug Killer. I got this, I think, off of Amazon. All right, here is where I have the pallets. I've already discarded one, and I'm just gonna shake these pellets out. They don't seem to be shaking out that well. You have like a little shaker bit, and then you have a pouring section. Can you guys see that? And I'm gonna put my glove on if I can find it. I took it off. I'm gonna put my glove on, and I'm gonna pour some of this in my hand and just broadcast spread it, because shaking it out, I'm gonna be here all day. So I just wanted to show you guys, this is how you do it. You just take it and spread it. And so I am just spreading it all over here. Trying not to get it where my food is, because I don't believe this is edible. And I don't want this in my food. But I will put it on the base. Okay, now I think it might have gotten into, let's just double check. Might have accidentally got some on my turmeric. I don't have my reading glasses on. I should probably put those on. But I want to get that. Oh, this is actually ginger. Oh, look at that. I got some more ginger popping up. Can y'all see that? I got ginger right there. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. Squirrel! Squirrel! Alright, so I just need to pick up all of my irrigation lines. I'm going to have to reroute these, because once I move the pots, this line won't be the same. So I'm going to have to reroute these. So I'm just picking them up, moving them out of the way, like so. Here we go. And I think I have another board that I might be able to put in there. I think it might be too short though. Let's see. Nope, I think it might work. It might work. hopefully it'll let it sit. It's not perfect, but hopefully it'll sit flat enough to where it's not unlevel. So I think what I'm going to do now is move my blackberry and my raspberry, because that blackberry is really very tall, and I'm going to put that towards the back, and then I will probably put my blueberry, if there's any room, which I don't think there will be, but I'm gonna try. I'll put my blackberry and raspberry here, and my blueberry is shorter, so I'll put my blueberry right here. Hope you guys can see that. So I'll be right back so you guys can see what it looks like. It may not look like much, but if you remember what it looked like before I got started, I had my 2 wine barrels right in this area, and they jetted out pretty far. So right now I have my pot that has the cucumber, the corn, the pinto beans, and the purple whole cowpeas in it, sitting there, because I have flowers on my cucumbers and those need to be germinated, so those did not go behind the tool. Behind here I have the flower seeds that I sowed the other day, the marigold seeds, as well as the white lavender and the monster lavender up there that I'm trying to germinate. I'm trying to keep them behind the tool so the squirrel doesn't get at them. And I don't know if you all can see, let me take you guys over there, but I put a covering around the monster lavender to try to prevent the squirrels from getting into that. So I've tried to make the enclosure a little bit smaller, as well as give me the opportunity. Remember that orange pot was all the way in the back by the back side of the fence? Well, now because the onions are coming to harvest, I can actually take those out, and I have those 2 other buckets that I have onions in that I have to harvest. That bucket there has onions in it, has 2 buckets in it. I planted beans and I think lettuce. I could be wrong. I did plant lettuce in that pot, I do know for sure, because that has lettuce that I'm trying to get to go to seed. That pot also has germinating beans in it, and I can't remember which beans I put in there, but I don't know if you guys can see that, but there is a germinated bean coming up. I need to move the tool again because it actually adjusted on me, and pull it down some so that it doesn't come up and disrupt the growth of that bean. But I have growth. Let me see if I can get you guys in here right quick. I don't know if you remember this pot right here, and I doubt you guys can see it. I put chamomile or chamomile, depending on where you're from. Remember, this pot has my bay leaf in it, and I put chamomile all along the bottom. That chamomile has begun to germinate. It's really very tiny. You all probably can't see it through the tool. Don't know if you can see it now, but I've got chamomile down there. I have food that I've already sown growing in the pots that I am harvesting food out of. So the only thing that I have not potted up yet is this onion pot. I still want to harvest more of these onions, and when they're ready, I will pull those out. But I want to get at least half of this pot harvested before I sow any more seeds in this pot. So now my fruit is back there. My blackberry and my raspberry, my 2 different types of blueberries right here, because these I got this year, and I don't think they're going to give me any food. They're very small still. I want them to worry more about putting on roots and putting on strong growth before they think about giving me food. So I've got a lot in here that I actually need to water. So I am gonna get to my watering regime, but I wanted to show you the progress that I've made so far. And then I've just rearranged a few pots along the way. My I lost my train of thought. Oh my goodness. My turmeric and my ginger over there in those pots, I just shoved those to the side. Those are coming up quite nicely. So I'm going to just go through the garden, and I'm going to actually hand water with rainwater. I turned off the irrigation system because we were getting so much terrible rain and storm that I did not want to overwater. So it hasn't been watered by the irrigation. So I'm going to give it some rainwater. And I hope you guys can see that up there. I made a little bee hotel. Let me move my camera. Hang on 1 second so I can show you guys. Can you guys see that? I made a little bee hotel. So I need to secure it a little bit better so it doesn't sway in the wind. But I hope I get some bees or some solitary bees that make a home in there, because I thought that was a pretty neat little task I tried to do, a little project. So bee hotel. All right, let me get some watering done, and then I'll show you what's next in the garden. I have promoted gardening for as long as I can remember to pretty much anyone I have a conversation with, and the conversation is steered to gardening. I think I probably steer the conversation to gardening. But I have been promoting gardening for many years now, and I have a sister, I have more than one, but I have a sister that I'm really leaning on when it comes to gardening, because I can see that she's excited about it. I can see that she sees the benefit of it, and she's wanting to now do it for herself and her family. And so she asked me today if I would put together some pots for her, and I've just got some plain old compost mixed soil in here, homegrown compost, vermiculite, black cow, my fertilizers that I use, my traditional fertilizers, bone meal, blood meal, and plant tone. All that is mixed in here. This is just soil that I repurposed from pots that didn't do anything for me. They just kind of filtered out and dudded out, so I just went ahead on and repurpose this soil. So I'm just going to place that soil in these pots, and then I'm going to start planting up some seedlings. I'm going to sow some herbs for my sister. So I'll fill these up and I'll come right back. One pot undone so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking some soil in a pot, and I'm trying to get it out of the pot, and I'm just, can you guys see? I am filling this pot with soil like so. Spilling a little bit, but that's okay. And then I take another pot and I firm it in, make sure that soil is nice and firm, and then I fill the rest of that pot up with soil. You want to make sure that your soil is firm at the base. That way whatever's, then you just fill it up. And that way when you are sowing your seeds, they don't sink all the way down to the bottom because the soil is loose. You want to make sure that it is nice and firm at the bottom. And if you need to top it up and firm it, then you top it up and firm it. Okay, so I've topped up my pots with soil. And now I'm going to, oh, I almost forgot. I pulled out a little bit of that lemon balm. Y'all know how that lemon balm of mine just grows like mad. I pulled a little bit out. I'm going to put the rest of this soil that I have in the bottom of this pot, and I'm going to put it in here, like so. There we go. And I am going to give away a nice little chunk of lemon balm. I'm going to have to go get some more soil and top this up. Just going to firm it in like so. And then I'll go get some more soil and top the rest of this up. And then she will have a beautiful lemon balm plant. I've already given her a comfrey. Well, I put one aside to give her. She hasn't gotten it yet. Alright, so I'm just going to take this little bit of soil and dump it in like that. Alright, now what we have here, she made a point to say that she wants yarrow. And so I told her that I had some yarrow that came up that I didn't even know that I had planted because I forgot about it. And I got this yarrow this year from Baker Creek. It's common white yarrow. And the seeds are pretty tiny. Can you see? I know the sun has gone down, but can you see those tiny little seeds right in there? They get stuck sometimes on the sticky part of your seed packet. So be mindful when you're opening up your seed packets that there may be some seeds right there at the top. Let's see if I have any left. Oh yeah, I've got a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit and pour it into my hand. And I'm just going to broadcast it. Can you see those seeds? There we go. Tiny little bitty seeds. I'm going to broadcast this on top of the soil, like so. And let me put it in this hand so that you guys can see me do it, because I can do this with both hands, so hopefully you guys can see. I just pinch it, try not to get it up under my fingernails, and then I spread it like so. Just like that. And I am not going to cover this with soil because these seeds are really tiny. Can you see those tiny little bitty seeds? I'm just going to water this in, and the water is going to push these seeds down just enough. And I'm going to lightly mist it. I'm not going to do a heavy stream of water, just a light mist of water, just to push those down. And so that is yarrow. That way I can tell her I sowed some yarrow for her. Let's see. Now I also have, she also said, and don't forget basil. So I have two types of basil here. I have a gift from Baker Creek. This is the dark purple opal basil. And I also bought some, I don't remember when I bought it, but it's the same thing, the basil petra. So I am going to gift her the gift that I got, the dark purple, because that's what I put into the garden this year for myself. Oh, I didn't even open it. Huh. Oh, did I? No, I guess I did not. I guess I opened up. Which one did I open? I know I spread some seed. Good heavens, y'all. It was this one. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to move this. I just stuck my finger in it. So be careful not to stick your finger in your pot you just planted. Accidents happen in the garden. All right, I'm going to give her what I grew for myself, which is the purple petra basil. And so I'm going to pour some in my hand like that. I've got some little bitty bugs that are really getting on my nerves today. They're flying around. All right, can you see those seeds? Little black seeds? And these are tiny little black seeds. So I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing with the yarrow. They're a little bit bigger than the yarrow, but they're still tiny. I'm going to just mist these in because they're not very big seeds. And I'm making sure I do my best to give her a nice little potted plant. So that is the purple petra basil. And then of course we have what I've also planted in my garden, the large leaf Italian basil. So I'm going to give her some of that. There we go. And do the same thing. I'm just going to broadcast them over the soil That way she gets a nice little potted plant. There we go. And that is basil. I have 2 more to go for her. Let's see, what else did she ask me for? I can't even remember. Those 3 I definitely remembered. I think the rest of them I wanted for myself, to be completely honest with you. I'm gonna give her some sage because we both do the same thing with sage. We cook with it, we smudge with it. I'm gonna have to buy myself some more sage. I only have a few more seeds left. Oh my. Okay, I have enough to share, and I'll buy some more. All right, sage. Now these you can cover over with soil. This little bug is really trying my nerves right now. Keep flying in my face. Oh, I did have some sage here. Look at there, I had some more. I totally forgot. I didn't even see that. I wasn't paying attention. My mind was focused on this bug flying around in my face, but that's okay. That is common sage that I put in that pot. And last but definitely not least is common rosemary. Okay. I'm gonna have to buy some rosemary, that's for sure. Now this I do know I don't have another packet of, so I'm gonna give her some rosemary. Can you guys see those seeds? There we go. And if I could get them off the palm of my hand, and I'm just gonna broadcast them on the soil. And I have just enough that I can give her a couple more just in case those don't germinate. And just like so, I have broadcast seeds for my sieve, just like that. Now I will be watering these in off camera because it is late. It is already 8:25. You all know, if you've been watching any of my videos, that I garden in the evening time because it's best for me. So I am going to water this off camera, but I am going to move this out of the way because I have a couple of pots that I would like to pot up for myself. So I am just going to shift this down like so and go up under the table. I have been trying to grow rhubarb and it is just not successful for me. I've tried 4 times. Can you guys see that little bitty? It'll germinate, it'll grow to about 5 inches, it'll give me nice true leaves, and then it will die out. This pot, the seeds didn't even germinate, nothing. So I am done playing with these rhubarb seeds for right now. What's most important to me is that I get some sage because my sage is gone and I need sage in my life. I'm going to also plant for myself some rosemary, and I'm going to plant for myself some sweet marjoram. And I tried to plant some catnip, but the only thing that came up was cat grass, and that's on the other side over there back by my onions. So I'm going to have to acquire some more pots here because I only actually have 2 pots that I pulled out, but that's okay. So I am going to take this last little packet of sage because I know there's very few in this particular packet, and there we go, that's all I've got for common sage, and I am going to place them right here in this pot. Now what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to take these in my indoor greenhouse and I'm going to leave them in the indoor greenhouse for a little bit because I don't want the squirrel getting in them and making a mess while they're trying to germinate. Now in this larger pot, I am going to broadcast some common rosemary. And I don't have a lot of seeds left, but that's okay. I'll put my seed packet aside to remind myself the next time I venture out to look for some common rosemary. And I'm just going to spread these on the top of the soil like so. And let me go find some more pots and mix up some more soil so that I can finish my seed sowing for myself. And I will be right back. I had a pot already in my indoor greenhouse, and so I'm just gonna rough up the top of the soil. I have some stuff already growing in it. Don't ask me what it is because I don't remember. It'll let me know what it is when it's ready. I will be potting it up and getting it ready to come outside once I figure out when I want to do that. This one I do believe is ready to come out, but I have to let it come out and get acclimated first and then put it back in. I can't just take it out and dump it in the yard because it's been in the house a while. So this is the catnip. So I'm going to try catnip again. I'm going to pour some seeds in my hand like that. Give myself a generous amount. That's my catnip. I'm going to pinch it, and I'm going to broadcast the seed over the soil just like that. And I'm not going to cover that up because that's a tiny seed. I'm going to put some vermiculite on that, put it back in the greenhouse, and this soil is already moist, so I'm just going to leave it in the area where it's going to continue to get water from the bottom and see what happens. And I've tried sweet marjoram several times with no success. So again, here we are. And these are tiny seeds as well. I'm just planting all these tiny seeds, man. Look at that. Those tiny little seeds. So I am going to do the same thing, pinch them, and spread them on the soil like so. Pinch, spread, and one more time because I have more, and I think I've got one or two more. That is sweet marjoram, or as my sister likes to say, majoram. I could be saying it wrong, she could be saying it right, I don't know. But those are the seeds for me, and I'm going to put this back into my indoor greenhouse. And then as you can see over here, I have been topping these off with vermiculite. I'm going to put water in this little pot here that I happen to have from several Thanksgivings ago, and I'm going to use this as a watering basin to water from the bottom. And that's going to be it for me today. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you're safe, I hope you're happy, and I hope you had a blessed and prosperous day. Bye everybody.